Hello and happy 2025. If at this point in the new year you aren't absolutely crushing it with all your goals and all the new things that you intended to do, that's perfectly okay. And we're going to talk about that today. So I love to share a little perspective at this time of year because it can get really intense. The pressure, the societal pressure, I guess, that we feel that like, oh, it's January 1st, you're supposed to reinvent yourself, you're supposed to set ambitious goals about the things that you're going to do that, cats are eating. So that's just, you're going to hear that while we're talking. There's a lot of pressure, right? That's saying like, you have to reinvent yourself, you have to do all these things, like start the perfect streak of whatever goal it is that you want to do and never miss a day. And like, I don't know, there's just this, I think we're already inclined towards this to think that like, okay, Monday is the perfect day to start this new thing, or the first of the month is the perfect day to start this new thing. So of course the first of the year has this like extra pull to it that's sort of like, oh, I'm going to be a new person starting on January 1st. And I mean, I just will say, like in my experience, at least, like it tends to not really work that well. So I'm going to talk about like my approach to this, not just as a human, but also like as an author and business owner. And let's dive into it. So the first thought that I have is that the end of the year is such an intense time, generally so full of emotions and stress and expectation and just all of these things, that it's like, who decided that right after that was the perfect time to have these ambitious goals? Like, I don't know about you, but I know for me, I'm much more likely to be successful with a new goal, with a new change, if I'm kind of easing myself into it, not if I'm going like, okay, I have to cross off everyone on my Christmas list and I have to do all these things and I have to make everything feel just perfect, like the holiday festive mood has to be like in every single moment of this whole season has to feel magical. I mean, wow, the intensity of that is like crushing. So of course it's natural that when that season is over, you kind of want to just like take a moment and breathe. And I feel like we should do that, rather than saying like, okay, you've had your fun, now it's time to start going to the gym every single day, which like, look, we're not even going to get into that. Wouldn't it just be so much nicer to be like, just a little bit gentle with yourself and go like, hey, actually, yeah, the holidays were hard. And I'm just going to keep moving forward in whatever way that I do. I don't have to be a new, better, improved version of the wonderful person that I already am. And I'm not just saying that for me, I'm saying that for you too, that we already are. Now, the second thing is, like, honestly, does it feel like a new year when it's the middle of winter? And actually, it's not even the middle of winter. Like, we feel like December is the middle of winter. It's the beginning. Like the winter starts in like the 20s, the 20th, 21st, 22nd of December. So when January 1st rolls around, like winter's only been around for a week and a half. So if you look to nature, if you look to when are the trees launching their new blooms? When are the birds launching their new babies? That's not really a thing. When are the birds building their nests and laying their eggs? Like, spring is the time of newness. Spring is the time when things come to life. That's true in nature. And yet for us in the Northern Hemisphere, at least, we're like, okay, I'm supposed to be doing all these new things because it's the 1st of January, even though like the days are short and it's cold and it's just all of these not really ideal things. So in my mind, I tend to approach spring as more of the time for the fresh start, right? Because I know that's when I'm going to feel that energy anyway. I certainly don't feel it right now. What feels a lot more natural to me in this time of year is kind of retreating inwards a bit more. I don't want to go out in the evening when it's cold or dark. So I'm going to be at home. I'm going to be doing cozy things. I recently started knitting again. That felt like a great thing to start in the new year, knitting my first sweater. All of this is just to say, be gentle with yourself. Certainly at this point in the year, if you're like, I'm not crushing all the goals that I thought I was going to be crushing, it's more than okay. It's more than okay. It's like the expectation of those goals was never really the thing. It was never setting you up for success. So it's okay if you're the same person in 2025 that you were in 2024. because you were great in 2024. And it's okay if the new things that you want to bring into your life didn't start on January 1st, if they start at any other time. So like for me, for example, I sort of intentionally now don't start things on January 1st. In the past, I've been like, oh, I'm going to start them in December because I'm going to kind of ease myself into it. But even that felt a little bit like a trick that like the productivity experts were pushing on me, go get a head start on your goals. Now I'm like, I intentionally don't want it to be perfect, so I'm not going to start it on the 1st. I'm going to start it when things make sense to start. So for example, I wanted to start posting regularly on my author Instagram account. Did I start on January 1st? I did not. I started on January 6th. Still, I picked a Monday, but at least, it was a Monday that felt more aligned for me, not a Monday when I was like away from my home, visiting family, doing holiday related things. Now it's like I'm back, I'm at my desk, I'm back to work, things are kind of normal, so okay, now is a more reasonable time to start that. As far as writing goes, I haven't written a word yet this year. I feel great about that. I'm going to catch up on some things I needed to do. I'm going to get some covers sorted out and edits finalized and, figure out all these things. But like my quarterly goal board that I keep on my wall still has Q4 goals on it. And I'm going to get there, but it doesn't have to be there yet. So the point that I'm trying to make here, maybe not that elegantly, is that you don't need to aim for perfect streaks. Like I know that a streak is such a compelling thing and we're like, oh, if I do this thing every single day, then that's going to make me have the motivation and pressure to keep doing it. I'm never going to want to break that streak. And that might be true for some of us, but it also might not be true for some of us. Like it's okay. It's okay to be like, I'm going to do this thing. And maybe you have a goal to write a book this year and you haven't started it yet and you think you have to write every single day to get it finished. I'll tell you the truth. I go through periods of time where I write every single day. I don't have a streak going on that because I got to a point where I was like, okay, the motivation of keeping the streak going isn't serving me. It isn't getting me where I want to be. The motivation that works for me is like, I want to get this particular story done by a certain time. And when I get that story done, I'm going to have a break. I'm not going to go, okay, I must keep the streak going, so I'm going to start something new right now. No, I might want to take a break, and that's okay. 365 out of 365 days, you don't have to do anything for that amount of time, except, like live and breathe and eat and sleep. Drink water. Those, I would say, are the non-negotiables. So if there's something that you're thinking of doing this year, I would love to hear what it is. I'd love to hear what your gentle plan is for bringing that into fruition. So feel free to let me know in the comments, and I will see you back here soon.